Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. Aimee here. So today we're actually going to talk about 23 thrillers that I want to read in 2023. This was a hard list to do because I have a whole TBR shelf of like nothing but mystery thrillers. And although I do want to get to most of them, which I have some here, there are some other ones out there that I'd rather get to before the ones I have on my shelf, as per usual. I made myself a little toddy this evening, so we're gonna have ourselves a good old time talking about these 23 books. I'm gonna try not to linger on them since there's so many. But yeah, these are just 23 as I was just going through my list of books I've written down over the years. A good many of these are backlist titles, but also a good many of these are newer titles that came out since like last year, and some that have just recently come out as well. We're not gonna do this in any particular order. I just wrote them all down and we're just gonna go down the list. If I have them in my possession, I'll show them. If not, they'll be up here as per usual. So number one on my list is a little bit of a backlist title. This is The Nanny by Jilly McMillan. I've actually been having this on my shelf for a good while now. I'm surprised it hasn't turned yellow. I have a book in here that has turned yellow. The pages have turned, or yes, like a goldish tone. I've been having it on my shelf for so long. So in this thriller, we're taking it back to 1987, where we have a 7-year-old's nanny goes missing. So this devastated 7-year-old, her name is Jo, loved her nanny, and she blames her mother for the disappearance of her nanny. Do we know the nanny's name? I don't know. Hannah. Hannah is the nanny's name. The mother is Virginia. So then we jump 30 years later when Jo returns to her hometown to confront her mother. Dark secrets from the past start to come up. You know the trend. And hopefully we find out what happened to Hannah in 1987. Then we have The Resting Place. This is more of a newer release. It came out sometime last year. This is by Camilla Sten. I've been having my shelf since it was released, because I just remember being so interested in the story. So here we have a young woman who witnesses the death of her grandmother, but she also has this disease. I'm not even going to try to say it, but it's basically called face blindness. So she can see someone, look at this person, and then turn around and then see this person again and not recognize them at all. Not realize that she just saw this person. It could have been another person. So yeah, she has witnessed face-to-face contact with her grandmother's killer, and now she does not know who that is. That's got to be crazy. But anyway, I remember being so just interested in this whole plot of, you know, like this face blindness thing. So I'm ready to read it. We're gonna read it this year. A book that also came out last year, this is Remember Me Gone. This is by Stacy Stokes. Another very interesting plot. So we have a daughter and her father who can literally make you not, like, can erase your memory. And Lucy is the daughter, where she is sort of coming into herself, to where she also has this power. So I guess like continue on the family business. So as Lucy grows into this ability that she has and learns how to do it from her dad, she starts to realize there's gaps missing in her memory as well. So is her father taking memories from her? Is she remembering things as she practices her ability and he's taking those memories from her? I don't know. It just sounded fantastic. We're gonna get into it this year. Another very intriguing thriller that came out last year. This is Daughter. This is by Kate McLaughlin. I think this may be a YA thriller, but we have a young woman, what is her name? Scarlett. Scarlett never knew her father, and now he is on his deathbed and he wants her to know who he is. She discovers her father is a serial killer and he's about to die in prison, and before he goes, he wants to tell his daughter about the killings that he's done and where they can find the bodies. Like, what? Yes. Hidden Pictures by Jason Rukulak. This also came out sometime last year. Very heavy, very heavy book. But I've been intrigued about this book, and I don't know why I haven't picked it up yet. I guess I just haven't found the right time. I don't know, but we're gonna get into it sometime this year. I love the fact that this book has illustrations in it. So this is about a young boy, I believe, who starts drawing like these terrifying pictures. It looks like we may be following a babysitter, Mallory Quinn. She is hired to look after the 5-year-old son, Teddy, of Carolyn Maxwell. Ted and Carolyn Maxwell, yes. So she loves little Teddy. She loves all his little drawings, but one day he starts to draw these pictures that a 5-year-old probably should not be drawing. She starts to suspect that maybe Teddy has like this ability to see these unsolved murders and he's drawing them out. I don't know. Sounds very intriguing, and I want to get to it this year. Another book I'd like to get to this year that was released last year, this is My Wife is Missing by DJ Palmer. I loved The New Husband. I hadn't really read any DJ Palmer before, and I really enjoyed that book. All the little twists and turns had some very good twists, very good plot twists. So I'm very anxious to get into another one of this author's books. So this one seems like it's like a domestic type thriller. A family vacation turns into a nightmare when Michael Hart discovers his wife and 2 children have disappeared from their New York City hotel room. But it does look like the wife has left willingly and took the children. So what the heck is happening? I don't know, but we're gonna find out. This one I'm really looking forward to. Again, I'm surprised I have not picked it up yet. This is Runtime by Catherine Ryan Howard. This just seems like up my alley, like just very Scream type, 90s type thriller kind of story. That's the vibe that it's given me anyway. So this is gonna be like a movie making type of thriller. We have the project that is going on called Final Draft, a psychological horror. The tagline is based on a terrifying true story that hasn't happened yet, is what it says. Just goes on to say something's not quite right on the set of Final Draft. Adele is about to discover that the real horror lies off the pages. She's the lead former soap star, so it looks like she's gonna be starring in the movie. I don't know, but yes, just 90s horror right here. That's just the vibe it's giving me, and I'm ready for it. This next book, I'm not hearing good things about it, but I'm still just very intrigued because I listened to the podcast, what's the podcast called? Morbid. Yes. It's a true crime podcast called Morbid. Elena Urquhart, I believe, is one of our hosts on the podcast, and she wrote this book, The Butcher and the Wren. Elena herself, I believe she's oh my gosh, they work in the morgue. I don't know, I'm sure there's a scientific name, but like an autopsy technician type of person. I believe that's what her job is. But anyway, like I said, I'm not hearing good things about the book, but I'm just interested or intrigued or generally curious about this book because it just sounds really good. It says we have dueling perspectives of a notorious serial killer and the medical examiner following where his trail of victims lead. And it takes place around the Louisiana Bayou. So that's another reason I'm just interested in it. A killer with a penchant for medical experimentation is hard at work completing his most harrowing crime yet. So yeah, so we have a forensic pathologist, autopsy technician come together to try to solve these crimes. More and more of the victims of the case are piling up on Ren's examination table. I know I'm spewing little bits of the synopsis everywhere because I actually really don't know what this book is about. I've never really read the synopsis. I just basically want to read it because of Elena herself, and I've listened to the podcast and I'm just curious. I really enjoyed Ashley Flowers' book, so yeah, we'll see. I've really been dying for a really good John Marrs book. The last John Marrs I read, no, I take that back, because the last one I read was really good, but was it Mindset? What was the name of that book? The Minders. Mindset. I don't know what I'm talking about. The Minders. It was okay, but I really wasn't that into it. Anyway, this one has been in my Kindle library for a while now, and I need to get to it. And like I said, I'm really in the mood for a good John Marrs book. This is Keep It in the Family by John Marrs. So we have a young couple that are moving into a home that they want to renovate, and the wife becomes pregnant during this time. And while they're renovating, they discover a message it says, a message scored into a skirting board. I will save them from the attic. So is this house haunted? That's what, I don't know. I don't know, but we're going to get into it. We're going to get into it. Another John Marrs that has been in my Kindle library for the longest time. Like, why am I not picking up these books to read them? I don't know. But this is The Good Samaritan. So we have this woman, Laura. She is, I want to say she like works for like this, it doesn't actually say what she works for, but I think she works for some sort of like hotline to where, like, if you're you're having feelings of suicide feelings, you can call this hotline and they can kind of help you or talk you down, so to speak. It says she's a friendly voice on the phone, but can you trust her? The people who call in of the line need hope. So it is end of the line is the place that you can call. They need reassurance that life is worth living, but some are unlucky enough to get through to Laura. Laura doesn't want them to hope. She wants them to die. So I don't know. It just sounds really just weird and intriguing, and it's John Marrs. So, and it's been on my Kindle list forever, so we need to get to it. This next one is more of a newer release by Holly Jackson. This is 5 Survive. So we have 6 friends that are going on a little RV trip to the beach for spring break. The RV breaks down. Before they know it, somebody's trying to shoot them down, shooting the tires out on the RV. It looks like this is not an accident. So someone out there is watching them, wants them dead for whatever reason. We don't know. It just sounds, and not to take this word seriously, but it just sounds like a good time, like a fun time. I've actually been hearing some really good things about this book. This is, oh wait, I lost it. The Personal Assistant by Kimberly Bell. It says, a thriller exploring the dark side of the digital world when a mommy blogger's assistant goes missing. So yes, so some sort of influential person, a blogger, has an assistant, they go missing. Yes, I'm all about the social media thrillers. I don't know why, I just really love them. So we're gonna definitely get into this one. Another new release, I think this one actually came out in January. This is The Drift by CJ Tudor. This is like a apocalyptic type read. It says, a catastrophe and survival. No, a gripping novel of catastrophe and survival at the end of the world. We also have a brewing virus, so this could be very similar to like the COVID outbreak. So if that's a trigger warning, just throwing that out there. But we have different, it looks like we have different people in different situations at the end of the world, and it looks like we might be following all of them. Hannah, Meg, and Carter are each one part of the puzzle. Lurking in their shadows is an even greater threat when that threatens to consume all of humanity. I don't know. Apocalyptic, viral breakout. You know I'm morbid like that. I have 2 Darby Kane books that I really, really want to get to. I loved Pretty Little Wife, so I'm really excited to get to these next 2 books. I don't have this one, but I have the next one. The Replacement Wife by Darby Kane. This is a domestic suspense novel that asks how many wives and girlfriends should disappear before your family notices. So we have Elisa Wright, a mom and a wife, who suspects her brother-in-law is a murderer. So Josh has one dead wife and now a missing fiance. And though he's grieving for both of them, he starts dating someone new. Elisa's like, what the heck's going on? But she's gonna look into it, and we're gonna look into it with her. And then we have The Last Invitation by Darby Kane. I actually do not know anything about this book whatsoever. It's like Darby Kane, when I hear that name, even though I've only read the one book by this author, I'm there for it. And I honestly don't know if I want to know too much. On the front of the book it says, getting in is by invite only, getting out is impossible. And it looks like we follow a few prominent people here: a retired diplomat, a beloved basketball coach, and the CEO of an empire. Oh no, I'm sorry. Over the last few years, these people have died in a series of fluke accidents and shocking suicides. There's no apparent connections, no sign of foul play. Behind it all is a powerful group of women, the Sophie Foundation, who meet over wine and cheese to review files of men who behave very, very badly and then meet their justice. Yes. Yes. I've been wanting to read this book for a really long time now, and it's time to pick it up. The Kind Worth Killing by Peter Swanson. This is the only Peter Swanson so far that I haven't read. And plus the new one that's coming out that is linked, that is the sequel to this book, which I'm hearing really good things about, and I've heard nothing but good things about this book. People have said that it's like his best, so it's time to get into it. I honestly don't even know what this is about. So we have a man, Ted, who meets a woman at a bar, airport bar, and it looks like she may look familiar to him. Over cocktails, they tell each other rather more than they should, and a dark plan is hatched. But are either of them being serious? Could they actually go through with it? And if they did, what would their chances of getting away with it? What are they gonna do? I don't know. I don't want to read too much into it. Like I said, I don't even really know what this book is about. I just know that I've heard over and over and over again that it's his best book. So we're gonna check it out. This next one, I'm not sure if it's considered a thriller. I want to say it is. This is The Key to Fear by Kristen Cass. This actually came out. It came out at the time of COVID, but it was written before COVID. But it's eerily about COVID. So once again, if that's a trigger warning, you may not want to pick this up. But I bought it immediately because morbid, intrigued. And Kristen Cass is one of my favorite authors from the past. She wrote in fact, they're back here under my plant over here. Oh my gosh, I'm drawing a blank. It's a YA fantasy type, paranormal really type. Oh my gosh. Like, it's like, I see it. I see the name. What is wrong with me? Am I really gonna have to look back there? Oh my god, it's like one of my favorite YA paranormal vampire House of Night. The House of Night. That's not all the books, but that's most of them. I don't have all the copies. I'm like still in the works of getting all of them because I absolutely love the series. But she wrote this. This is the daughter of PC Cass, and they wrote that series together. Anyway, she wrote this book. It's basically like COVID, like the pandemic. It says, for 50 years, the Key Corporation has defended humanity against a deadly virus that spreads through touch. Lovers don't kiss or even hold hands. Personal boundaries are valued above all. Break the laws and you'll face execution. So not exactly, you know, COVID, but very close to it. She put out like this email when the book was released, that she had no idea that COVID-19 was going to happen. She wrote this before it, and it actually it came out in 2019, I believe. Or maybe it was 2020. 2020, the beginning of 2020. So yeah, so wow. Anyway, I want to get to this year. Another book I hear nothing but good things about is The Patient by Jasper DeWitt. A very short little book, but terrifying, so I hear. It says, I am not sure if I am privy to a terrible secret or if I myself am insane. So we have Parker, an ambitious young psychiatrist, takes a job at a dreary state mental hospital in New England. He is intrigued by the facility's most difficult and notoriously dangerous patient, Joe, a 41-year-old man originally admitted to the hospital at age 6. No one has been able to successfully diagnose him, as his symptoms have evolved over time in unusual ways. The only constant is that every person who has encountered him has been driven to madness or suicide. We're definitely going to get into this one. Ow. I think my leg's going to sleep. You take a sip. This is another book that has intrigued me just by the cover alone. This is None Shall Sleep by Ellie Morney. I believe this is also a YA thriller as well. We're going back to 1982. Love it already. Two teenagers, serial killer survivor Emma Lewis and U.S. Marshal candidate Travis Bell are recruited by the FBI to interview convicted juvenile killers and provide insight on cold cases. So we have a juvenile serial killer here. I'm all about it though. 1982, a juvenile serial killer. Let's do it. Okay, I've had this one on my shelf for a while. Actually, I think I got this a couple years ago at Second and Charles. This is Night Film by Marisha Pessel. Another heavy book here. It's got lots of illustrations in it as well. I'm not exactly sure what this is about, but the moment I spotted it, I was intrigued with it. Once again, it kind of gave me 90s Scream horror movie vibes, because I believe it does have something to do with film. I mean, obviously, night film. So we have a woman that is found dead in a lower Manhattan warehouse. It looks like her father was a film director. He hasn't been seen in public for more than 30 years. Another death connected to this seemingly cursed family dynasty seems more than just a coincidence. The last time he got close to exposing the director, whoever, McGrath, it seems like, who will be following, lost his marriage and his career. This time he might lose even more. So there's something going on with the director. I think that's his daughter that they find dead in this Manhattan warehouse. I don't know, but I'm really intrigued with this book. I've never heard anything about it. I just know I saw it at Second and Charles and I was immediately intrigued with it. Never picked it up. Since then, it's time to get into it. Also on my shelf for a while, this is Bunny by Mona Awad. I think I tried to do this for a readathon one year and I just didn't get to it. So we're gonna get to it this year. I hear that this is like just very disturbingly horrific. Is this YA? I want to say it is. We were just these innocent girls in the night trying to make something beautiful. We nearly died. We very nearly did, didn't we? I don't know what that means. So we have a clique of rich girls who call each other Bunny, and Samantha is being welcomed into their group. As Samantha plunges deeper and deeper into the Bunny's world, beginning to take part in the ritualistic off-campus workshop where they conjure their monstrous creations, the edges of reality start to blur. I just heard it was really weird and horrific, so, and I've been wanting to get to it, so we're gonna get to it this year. This is the book I was telling y'all about that it has started to sort of go gold on me. This is In Bloom by C.J. Scoose. A couple years ago, I think it's before BookTube, I'm pretty sure, before I started BookTube anyway, I read the first book in this series. This is like a psychological, or what is this? Sweet Pea. Sweet Pea was the first book. We actually follow our serial killer. She's a woman, and I thought she was very intriguing. Like, she was kind of like a Dexter, going around killing men that were worthless pieces of shit. And at the end of Sweet Pea, you kind of are left with a cliffhanger. I don't want to say too much about it in case you're interested in reading it. I really enjoyed it. It's been a while since I've read it, but this is the second book to that story, In Bloom. And it just says Rihanna's back. Rihanna was our woman's serial killer. She kept a journal of everything. So we get like it's like basically told as journal entries. Yeah, this is really old. I need to get to this, and I really did enjoy the first book, Sweet Pea. So I do want to find out whatever happens to Rihanna. Does she get caught? Because I vaguely remember the ending of Sweet Pea was a very close call, so I want to see what happens to Rihanna. So we're going to find out this year. I've also been in the mood for Good Simone St. James. I did enjoy the Book of Cold Cases, but it just didn't add up to the Sundown Motel. Like, that's like, I think, my favorite. But this is a backlist title. This is The Haunting of Maddie Clare, and this takes place in the 1920s England. I'm not sure what she does. It just says her agency, Sarah Piper's agency, sends her to assist an obsessed ghost hunter. Alistair Jealous is a rich, handsome, and scarred by World War I. Has been summoned to investigate the spirit of the 19-year-old maid, Maddie Clare, who is said to haunt the barn where she committed suicide. I'm ready for a good ghost story, and I love the cover. This beautiful cover. This is giving me like fall vibes here. All right, y'all, that's my 23 thrillers that I want to get to in 2023. Let me know in the comments down below if there's any thrillers out there that you're looking forward to reading this year. Was any of those on my list? I'll probably do the same thing. I'll probably each month pick from this list. I don't know if I'll do the jar thing again, although that is fun. I'm enjoying doing the jar thing for my 23 Mel romances. We'll see. I'll think about it. Let me know in the comments down below if that's something you want me to do. But yeah, I'm excited to get to all these books. As always, thank y'all so much for watching. Hope you're all doing well out there. Hugs from me all around, and I'll see y'all very soon. in a new video. Bye, y'all.